Okay. Hey guys, welcome back. Chris, Brian, how you guys doing?
Doing
Hey
well.
man,
How
how
are
you
you?
doing?
Yeah, all good. So let me just quickly recap for those that are jumping in new to this. What we're going to be doing is rapid firing through about 37 tiles that make up the ASM task board. This represents the specific sprint milestones for the team that they're completing as they move through various portions of the project that they have in flight. So we'll spend about 30 seconds on each one and just kind of round robin through them. Exciting time. Since the last sprint, there's been tons of movement to the right of the board, which we love to see. In addition to that, geez, what do we have? Aaron and Shara were saying that there's 6 major announcements coming in hot. Honeypots are revealing, ATEM is revealing. Brian, what's been the most exciting thing for you?
Oh man, there has been a lot going on. I thought I guess the two major announcements I thought were really interesting. The nonprofit work that they're going to do with
Mhm.
Keanu Reeves and I forget the other woman's name. Anyone remember?
Not gonna lie to you, I
No,
can't remember either.
no.
Okay.
I'm pulling up the
I was
tweet.
I was a big fan of The Matrix as a kid, so Keanu's, pretty high in my book. Bill and Ted's
Me too,
Excellent
man.
Adventure is also an incredible movie. But I thought that was super cool. And it'll be interesting to see how that all works out. It's always nice to see these guys constantly focusing on giving back. I think that's one of the things that is really special about this ecosystem. And the Ripple announcement, despite how I think a lot of people have taken, I think is also a big deal. I think that they have a lot they can bring to the table as far as funding and other resources go. So I'm also very curious to see kind of how that plays out.
Yeah. Alexandra Grant. That's
There it
That's
is.
it.
Yep.
I think that's
Yep.
it. I've yet to watch that YouTube, but I hear it's pretty powerful stuff.
I haven't seen it either, actually.
What about you, Chris? What's top of mind for you?
Uh, Honeypots, that's what's going on this week. I had one reveal yesterday. I still have another two that haven't, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's
And, and yeah, I mean, just really trying to deep dive the whole thing with Ripple. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I really deep dove reading, a lot of research. A lot of people looked at it and thought it might be a negative at first. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little like hesitant towards it just because of the name and the press that it's had in the past, but they are doing some really cool stuff. And yeah, like I'm just interested to see how it's gonna go. It really shows that they're really willing to take the risk if they see like the right play and they think that it's actually going to push the eco forward. And it's kind of funny, like the community for Ripple, it reminds me of Fluff a little bit, just because like they're so diehard, man. Like you get on like Twitter and you say something bad about them, there'll be like 1,000 people posting on
yeah,
you, like telling you why you're wrong. So like they're the same like passion, like kind of I guess behind it. So
mhm.
it might work out good. You never know. But
Defend till the end.
yeah, I trust the team. I trust that they made this decision for a reason, and it just wasn't kind of willy nilly. And it's a big move. I mean, you're taking a whole another bracket of people that aren't in NFTs and kind of bringing them in and showing them the ropes. It could be a lot.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm working on wrapping my head around what it all means, but I completely trust what it is that they're doing to stitch together, the bigger picture. So always a couple steps ahead of us. Cool. So let's jump into the task board. Here's a quick snapshot of the recent sprint, which is June 25th to theoretically July 9th. So we'll see how it goes. Who wants to take the first one? I guess, Brian, let's flip it back to you. We got update FAQ knowledge base, updating the FAQs to reflect more current knowledge. This is for the AFA website. Last time it was in testing, it's moved all the way up to completed status. What do you think?
Interesting. If it's done, I'm curious to see if that just means they keep it in their back pocket or it launches soon. I think we talked about this one before, pretty self-explanatory. There'll be just a bunch of FAQs about AFA and how to play and the different facets of it. So Yeah, I'll be curious to see if it rolls out in the next couple weeks, or if they're just gonna keep that one hidden away for a while.
Right. Yeah. We always look at the things that are complete, but we never really know when we actually get to see it. Okay, Chris,
Yep.
building genome mining smart contracts. This was previously in testing and it's now done. What do you think?
I think it's definitely one of those things that kind of had to get done, especially since we started generating, Asto energy and all that. It had to be right around the corner. So I'm assuming that this was probably near the done stage before anything was announced anyway. So this is just one more step in the moving forward and getting some new brains coming out.
Yeah, and I think that was a big milestone since we last connected as a group here. So Asto Energy is in motion.
That it is.
I didn't even talk about that at the beginning.
Yeah. All right,
Okay.
Brian, back to you. So Retro Future Arena Unity integration, import Retro Future Arena from Blender to a Unity ready asset for the AFA game. This was to do, and it's already done. What do you think? Quick action.
Interesting. The fact that it's done, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we get to see a leak here pretty soon of an arena that's, maybe got some extra juice to it. I don't know what that means exactly, but something where we can kind of see what maybe things will look like within the arena potentially. I don't know. What do you
Nice.
think?
Yeah, I like that. I love leaks, so I'm all for that theory.
If we're in this
Maybe wishful
ecosystem,
thinking,
we all
but-
love leaks, man.
That's true. All right, Chris. Production Cycle 2 story. This is for the lore. It wasn't even on the board and it's jumped all the way to done. Again, the lore master is just out of control.
Yep, and I love lore. I talked about it last time we met. It's one of my favorite things about the ecosystem as a whole. So I can't wait to see where it goes with it. So far, it's been really cool. We'll find out a little bit more about the spaceship and all that kind of stuff, and moving on to whatever's next in cycle 2.
Yeah, Professor Jenny Bryan's hard at work. Can't wait to see what's in store next. All right, Brian, LP token energy generation design for genome mining. This was previously in progress and it's now done.
Well, I guess that's what we're seeing now, huh? This is, I guess, probably what we're seeing in the dashboard when for that first week or so, we weren't able to see how much energy the LP tokens were generating, and now we do, which is really cool. It's really easy to read and really well done, I think. So
you've had a good experience with it so far?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty simple. I logged in, looked at it, figured out exactly what I was looking at in a second, and was done. So they did a great job on that again.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Chris, genome mining design of Gen 2 brains and release mechanism for genome mining. This was previously in testing and it's now done.
Yeah, again, this is one of those things we kind of touched on last week with, I love the design of the Gen 2s. I think it's so cool the way that they decided to go inward as opposed to outward, so that design piece is really cool. And, how it's going to release, I'm sure, like as always, it's going to be a little bit of gamified action to it.
Yeah, it'll be a fun mechanism. It's probably something that we don't expect just to be dropped to us. All right, setup for rarity tools, setting rarity scale for different traits for the AFA website. This was previously in testing and it's now done. Brandon, another one of those things that we've talked quite a bit about in the Discord.
Yeah, definitely. Can you hear me okay? I had to swap out headphones for a battery charger.
Yep, we got you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think the team did this one. They had to make a couple tweaks, but I believe that this is finalized and you can now use, I think, was it Rarity Sniper that they were using? Is that ring a bell?
Mm-hmm.
So they're using that now, and that should be set up to show the rarity of all stars. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of the characters you'll notice probably will be ranked the same. That just means that they're of equal rarity if you're looking at that when you're looking. So just something to keep in mind if you go check out the tool.
Nice. All right, I wonder what it'll do to sway the AFA All-Star market. All right, Chris, building genome mining UI for the Cortex website. This was in testing previously and it's now done.
Yeah, Don't mind my daughter here. She's practicing talking over here and watching genome mining. I think she likes the brain, so she's pointing at him and saying whatever the heck she's saying. But
Yeah, that's
this
like
is
the cool cats barometer for success. Can kids get
she's
into it?
pointing at
And I
she's
think the
getting all
answer is
excited.
yes.
So yeah. So say hi, Victoria.
Hello.
So building the genome mining UI, I know that they said that this was going to be like a mini game kind of thing. So I'm pretty excited to see how that's going to turn out too.
Yeah. Yeah, never straightforward. All right, Brian, game logic cinematic for the AFA game. This was previously in progress and it's now done. We were speculating before. Has your thoughts changed at all?
No, it still seems the same. Something to do with the camera angles to different aspects related to how the game's being played. And it seems like that's done. So I would think that that's a pretty big step in also getting the AFA game ready to go, which is cool to see some of these little pieces getting finalized.
Yeah, getting closer. All right, along the same lines, arena animations, creative and technical workflow for the AFA game. This was previously in progress. It's also done. Chris, it seems like quite a bit in terms of the AFA experience is really getting knocked off the to-do list, huh?
Yeah, and if it's going to be anything like, all these little animations and snippets that we've seen, if they're holding it back and they're just giving us little pieces, it's going to be awesome once it's all
Yeah.
said and done.
Everybody will be able to enjoy it. Fun for all ages. All right, Brian, develop an internal mini game environment to test smaller part incentive mechanisms. AI research, this was previously in progress. Hal has knocked this one off the to-do list. It's now done. What do you think?
It's interesting because it doesn't seem like it's for a specific mini game. It says like it's a mini game environment, so they've created a place where they can try out, I guess, probably a bunch of different mini games to add in there. So it'll be cool to kind of see how that plays out and what parts of the design they decide to use that mechanism to drive desired action.
Yeah, I think the notion of reuse across game worlds is going to be a really key one, especially for ASTO consumption. All right, genome mining contract audits for the Cortex website. This was previously in progress and it's moved forward to testing. Chris, any thoughts about what we've heard in the past 2 weeks about the contract audits?
Nothing in particular. I know that they're really going to try to go through see if they can find any loopholes and make sure that everything is good to go when it comes to actually loading it up and having people use it. So going from in progress to testing, that just means that they're trying to find any leaks or cracks and any issues in the contract before they push it out.
Yeah, and I've really enjoyed how they've taken sort of community sentiment and feedback into account to make some adjustments based off what would be best for everybody.
Yeah,
all right,
love that.
LP token energy generation contracts. I think this ties into the same thing. It wasn't anywhere on the to-do list last I saw. I could have been mistaken, but it's now in testing. Brian, you think that ties into what Chris was just talking about?
Yeah, it sounds like the same thing, but for people that are using LP tokens to generate energy rather than just staking.
Specific to the Uniswap LP, right?
Yeah, and I'm guessing both of these last two have to do with the claim, I'm guessing, since they're in testing rather than completed. So I'm wondering if they did the testing for the staking aspect and then they're doing the claim part now, so that in whatever 45 50 days left, it'll be ready by the time that's done.
Yeah, good call. Well, I don't think there's much to say about this one, the LP token energy generation implementation for genome mining. Let's just count that as tied into everything that we just talked about. All right, Chris, implementation of actions, updating the movement, tackle, shoot, passing animations and logic for the AFA game. Previously in testing, still in testing. I think it's been in testing for maybe 2 sprints now, this being the 3rd. So probably a complex part of the project, huh?
I would say so. And I would say that it's probably one of the more important parts, because if the game doesn't look good and it's not clean cut, people are not going to be as super interested in it. So I know, I mean, how this team does everything with their UI and everything like that. This is like top of the tier of like importance to them, because they want this game to look and feel amazing and be fun to play and not have any kind of hiccups or anything going on in it.
Yeah. Yeah. And first reactions are just so important in this space. So I can see why they're taking their time to get it right. All right, Brian, implementation of training, passing, tackling, shooting training for the AFA game. Another one of those that's been in testing for a little while now. You think similar to what Chris was just describing?
Yeah, probably a lot of QA going on, making sure that, you know, what you're training is actually then being implemented. So I'm guessing that's kind of a whole package deal that they're working on together to see how training translates into action in a real game environment.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. All-Stars claim contract audit. Auditing for the new All-Star claim contract is in progress for ASTO. Another one of those that was in testing and remains in testing. Chris, you think this has to do with some last minute adjustments, or is it just making sure everything's buttoned up?
I don't think that they're going to be making any changes at this point. I'm sure that the team's probably pretty much made up their mind on how this is going to go if the contract's already written. But they haven't revealed to us how that's going to go yet. So it's still kind of up in the air of how that's going to be.
Right. We know that.
I think.
Go ahead, Brian.
I think we've got to be pretty close, because I think getting that rarity tool finalized was probably the big step in that one, so that they could use that tool themselves to use for the claim, since they've said part of the claim will be potentially related to rarity. So I'm guessing the fact that that's done, the claim contract is being audited. I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't that far away at this point.
I had never connected the dots, but you're so right. All right. Build an internal interface to train basic AFA models. ASM employees will be able to play a pre-alpha version of AFA for AI research. Remains in testing. Brian, let's stick with you. What's going on behind the scenes here?
Yeah, I remember this one from last time, and I think it's like working on different models or strategies to run your teams through to gain some experience. I'll be curious to know if anyone from the team is watching this, when they actually are trying to pre-alpha and what they think just in general, without giving too much specifics. That's pretty exciting, I think.
Sounds like we should go knock on Daredevil Dan's door and ask him what the inside scoop is.
Dan, if you're listening and you need some mods to check out, you know, some of the pre-alpha, just let us know. We'll hop there.
Just drop us a line.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. All right. The next exchange listing for ASTO, another one of those that we've seen kind of just camping out in the testing phase. I know they talk about how with partnerships, you have to wait for your partner for the most part. Like they may be ready to go, but Chris, you think that's what's happening here? They're just waiting on the other end?
I would assume, and I think that this is going to be one of those things that's just going to keep getting taken off the board and put on the board as exchanges keep coming on board. I could see this one just being on there for pretty much forever until we hit pretty much every exchange there is. You know, yeah. I don't foresee any exchanges not wanting this token on it as, you know, going forward.
Let's just maybe look the other way if 3O's Capital comes calling.
Oh, geez.
Too soon.
That's too soon. You're right. Okay. Release basic training, part of the game internally for AI research. Man, the team is having so much fun. Brian, this was on the to-do list. It's all the way into testing. What do you think?
I think there's got to be a pre-alpha going on somewhere. They've got training.
Let us in.
They're working on right now.
Listen to Chris.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe there'll be more forms of advanced training at some point, but maybe in the beginning it's just like a few different methodologies in which to train your team to kind of start to get a feel for things. But yeah, I mean, sounds like it's in progress. So it'll be interesting to see when this one's completely done, where the team's at as far as progress goes.
Yeah, we'll find out soon enough, hopefully. All right. Media CGI pipeline phase 1, testing and setup of remote workstations for collaboration. This is related to the Next Legends project. It was previously in progress and it's moved forward to testing. Chris, what do you think?
I think I judged this one a little bit differently last time that I saw this, just because I thought that they were kind of like looking for places to do it and kind of getting an idea, and it seems like they are much further ahead than I thought.
Yeah.
Because if they're into a testing phase, that means that this stuff is already set up and kind of ready to rock, which is awesome. I can't wait to see snippets of this game and how that's going to go too.
Yeah, they've been drip feeding us really cool teasers, and man, they look great. All right, here's one out of left field. Afa Island reveal, part of the lore, came out of nowhere. It's now in testing. Brian, what do you think about the lore part of this?
This is really funny because I saw people talking about Afa Island in the Discord, and I was like, "What are they talking about?" Somehow I must have missed this when I looked over the task board. But I don't actually know. I'm a little intrigued because we had heard that there was the Afa Moon. So if there's an Afa Moon, then what is Afa Island? Is it like a all stars paradise on the moon? Is it a separate place? Is there land involved? So many questions.
Yeah, I'm not so familiar with the laws of physics on a particular moon as it relates to how islands work. So we'll see how it goes. All right, Chris, train agents to only do specific actions such as shooting, tackling, etc. for AI research. Another one of those really complex ones that remains in progress.
Yeah, it makes me think on how training is really going to go, and if there's going to be like a umbrella version of training, like maybe you get a little bit of everything, or then you can go into like more specific versions of training, like shooting or tackling or scoring or whatever that's going to be. It's going to be cool how you can kind of play it and figure out how you want to customize your characters and your brains as it is.
What's your gamer style? Do you like to get really into the weeds in terms of turning knobs and dials, or you kind of just use the guardrails and see how it unfolds?
No, I need to have control over absolutely everything. So I'm going to be making, really educated decisions on every piece of this. I'm not just going to be doing stuff willy-nilly. I'm the kind of guy that plays a game and I have to do every little mini game before I finish it. I can't just play the game.
Yeah, find every Easter egg and everything. So so this task is really designed just for you, it sounds like. All right, moving on to the next, Brian. Character generator tool phase 1 for the next Legends. This was on the to-do list and they've gotten started with it. It's in progress.
I think we talked a little bit about this last time. And someone actually made a mention of this. I think it was Phil, who was on the podcast recently, was talked briefly about this generator tool. And I believe he also said it will be used for something else, and left it at that. So it's pretty interesting. They've created some tool that we assume creates a character for you, kind of mashes up some traits, similar to how NFTs generally do it, but somehow using a tool, and that will probably be used for generation in the future for other games. So it'll be cool to see how that shakes out. Yeah,
I'm candidly so unfamiliar with anything Next Legends related. I'm just kind of sitting there with my popcorn waiting to see how it goes. All right. Mining cycle user experience for genome mining. Chris, this one wasn't previously on the board and it's now in progress. What's going on here?
I think it's just kind of touching on, and they've been kind of in the Discord kind of drilling it into people's minds that like if you're in like the LP version of the mining, like getting the Asto energy, like you have to do it throughout the entire thing. If you pull out early, you lose it. I'm just assuming this has something to do with that, but I guess it could be a little bit more. I guess we'll have to wait and see how the team kind of lets us know what's going on with that.
Yeah, for all of those AMA participants out there, here's a good one to ask what's going on.
Yep.
All right. Similarly, Professor Jenny Bryan is building the monitoring deck for genome mining. This wasn't on the board previously. It's now in progress. Brian, I know one of the more popular questions in the Discord at the moment is related to where do I stand with the whole Asto energy pool? What you think that's related to this?
I think so. I'm not sure. It seems like it's related to that and also kind of building in the lore a little bit further. But not quite positive, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess I took that too literal, but you're right. It could be like the deck of the ship.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, but it's also under genome mining rather than lore. So I think it's got to be more functional, like what you were saying, than just the lore part. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah. All right, jumping back over to lore. Genome mining prologue, coming out of nowhere, now in progress. Chris, lore lover, what could possibly be a part of the prologue?
You know, I have no idea. I'm sure that there's going to be a cool story behind it and kind of how we have to make those decisions and all that kind of stuff. It could go so many different ways. I'm just, again, it's one of those things that there's no way that I could accurately describe how it's going to go. I can't wait to see how they're going to go about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd love to see like a little video thing about it. You know, did you guys see the little clip where they showed the glitch twins
Love
like
that
messing
one.
with dials and
With the
buttons,
computer
creating the
messing with
Gen
stuff.
2 brains?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they took that like a step further and kind of explained how that all happened. I hope that was just like a sneak peek of what we get to see before they actually get generated.
Whenever I watch those videos, I get really attached to the sound effects in them, and I'm just imagining like a Jim Cramer Mad Money style like huge soundboard that the ASM team has, so there's like putting all these fun effects into it. All right, sync ASM AI frame with AFA to the latest version for the AFA game. This was on the to-do list. It's now in progress. Brian, sticking with you. ASM.ai frame.
I don't know exactly what ASM.ai frame is. I'm guessing it's like a framework for their AI models that they're using for the game. And
Has
they're just
anyone
making
gone
sure that
to
when they update.
ASM.ai?
What's that?
Have we tried going to ASM.ai?
Not until now.
Excuse me.
My guess is it's,
do some
I was gonna
research.
say my guess is it's hidden.
Yeah.
It was a good try though. So yeah, I'm guessing that as they update the AI framework, they have to make it match the game or whatnot.
Yeah, right. All right, Chris, modeling base characters for the next Legends continues to be in progress. We've seen some really good stuff from those videos. What do you think?
I think there's going to be, I can't tell you the exact number of how many it's going to be, but there's going to be a bunch of, you choose whatever character kind of vibes with you the most. And then it goes into what we had a few slides ago where you kind of get to customize and kind of make it your own.
Are you imagining that you're going to have like a Rocky style experience where you're going to train a nobody up into a champion? Or do you think you're going to be cycling through quite a few characters?
I've always liked that, like even like in like FIFA or Madden or something like that, like you kind of create your character as yourself and you go through the whole experience of like that's something that I always liked to play when I was playing those games. So hopefully it's something like that because I can get with that.
You've got character loyalty, it sounds like. All right. Brian, contract interface for All-Star Claim. Prepare the interfaces for the All-Star reverse claim contract. This is still in progress and they're still referring to it as a reverse claim. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that one's pretty self-explanatory. Although I thought we were getting rid of the term reverse claim.
Right.
As a note, in case Dan does watch this, that we are paying attention as mods. But yeah, I'm guessing this is just for the whole claim mechanism, just make a nice interface like it is for the genome mining, basically.
Yep, no doubt. All right, I got 4 more here. Rebuild baseline AFA model to allow training for a new internal AFA game version for AI research. New to the task board and is now in progress. Chris, do you think this relates to the interoperable nature of the games that they're creating, the AI games they're creating, or?
I guess. I mean, I'm sure that the AI that they're going to be using is going to have like a base version, and then they're going to expand upon it depending on the game. This one's interesting. I have to really do like some real thinking about how that could play into it, but I'm assuming that that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. All right. All-Stars claim design and scope for All-Stars claim for the Cortex website. Brian, this will be a quick one. You were just touching on it. I think we're just on standby to see how it ties into Rarity Sniper and all that good stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just putting the code into a visual dashboard for everyone to use easily.
Which they're so adept at doing. So I'm excited to see the Cortex website go from a 10 to an 11 on the scale. All right, building All-Star Claim Cortex UI. I think this ties right into what we were just talking about. The interface for the claim itself, still in progress. I guess we'll give that one a freebie. All right, here's a new one for you, Chris. Mining cycle design for genome mining. This is new to the board. They've got it on the to-do list.
I'm not really sure what this one could be, to be honest with you. They've pretty much laid out how the cycles are going to be. So I'm interested to see how this is something that's going to be coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have a better idea than me, but that one's got me a little bit puzzled.
I mean, we know that there's two phases. There's the production phase and then the mining phase. So those two cycles together make up one genome mining event. But I don't know what this could possibly be.
Especially because it went right into to do, which I feel like things that have gone straight into to do are like needed real soon.
Right.
Because otherwise
Right.
I would have guessed, oh, maybe this is planning for the cycles after the first three, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, we'll track it next time around. That's a good point. They've got what, 48 days or so to get it done.
Mhm.
All right. Last one, I think. Extract model value from newly trained models in the context of the game for AI research. Still on the to-do list. Hasn't gotten started. Brian, what do you think?
Oh boy, I feel like I had this one last time. I don't remember what I said. I wish I could just repeat what I said because I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I'm guessing they're working on like updating training models. Like they probably have the most basic ones and then are slowly trying to make increasingly complex ones to add to the metagame. And they're just kind of trying to work out how to pull that out and use it. I'm not quite sure.
Right. Yeah. Where I know a big talking point has been, what is the starting point of like a fresh dumb brain? You know, like, do they need to learn the rules of soccer before they can play, or what? All right, I'm mistaken. We've got two more. Chris, character generation UX design for the next Legends on the to-do list.
Kind of ties into that one that we touched on a little bit ago. It's just going to
Yep.
be kind of finding your own flavor and creating a character that kind of vibes with you.
Yeah, very cool. We all had a ton of fun with the AFA dashboard, so I'm sure this will build on all of that and beyond. All right, this is the last one. Brian, animations, Snappy for AFA game. This is new to the board and it's on the to-do list. What's going on here?
I'm guessing it means like clean up the animations a little bit, make them a little bit less, I guess, more fine-tuned. Or
is Snappy a body type or an attribute on the AFA dashboard? Like, is it a...
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
I don't think so. It doesn't sound familiar to me, and I'm pretty sure that I've gone over all those things about a million times, but I could be wrong.
Take your word for it. All right.
Yeah,
well,
I don't know
either.
We're left scratching our heads. We'll have this one be to be continued. But you guys, we're at the end. So thank you so much, and we will reconvene for the next sprint. But have a great time out there. We'll talk to you in the Discord.
Sounds good. See ya.
Sounds good.